All right, let's talk about the Fool card. So the major arcana in the tarot starts out with this guy right here, the Fool. That starts out with this leap of faith kind of energy, and throughout the major arcana, we are following this guy's path all the way through, and everything roadblock or excitement and that he hits throughout that journey, right? So within this card and by itself, it is actually as simple as it is packed full of a lot of imagery. So we have the colors like yellow is very confident, energetic type of energy. All of this white is symbolistic of innocence and a little bit of naive energy. And then we have the red here, which is passionate and just ready to go type of energy. And the blue is also kind of associated with having faith as well. So this is really all about just having the faith that the universe is going to catch you if you were to fall. And that's really shown here with how he's staring at the sky, despite the fact that he's about to fall off the cliff here. This is really just looking up to God and saying, okay, I'm going to take this leap, and I trust that you are going to catch me. I trust that you're going to lead me in the right direction and carry me in the right way. Some other things that's really important that's going on here. One, we have the white rose that shows up later on in the major arcana in the death card. So this white rose is very symbolistic of innocence and purity. Very, again, naive energy, but still not necessarily completely naive. Like, you still know that things can go wrong here. You still know that things can go bad, but you're willing to trust that it's going to work out in your favor despite that. We also have the wand with his bag of belongings on here. So this is, you'll hear some people say that like he has the tools of the magician in this bag. Which makes complete sense. The magician is the next card, and that is the tools that we use to create with, right? So he's got his belongings and his wand here, and the wand is also in the tarot a symbol of passion and energy. It's also a symbol of manifestation pretty often as well. And to me, this is always saying like he's just taking his shit and going and doesn't really care what other people think of it. He's heading on his own path and leaving everything else behind. Then we also have the dog here in this corner. This is very much, a dog can be your loyal partner. They can be running along, playing along beside you, but they can also be your warning as well. A dog, most often, more times than not, is going to stop you if there's a danger ahead of you. So we're also kind of looking at him as like that inner voice. You're always going to have the inner voice in you that's warning you before you take the next step. So we still have that inner voice there. We still have that warning just in case things get a little out of control. But we are still trusting the universe to just catch us and carry us in the direction that we need to go. Now, the Fool card is associated with the planet Uranus, which is the planet of rebellion. It's all about breaking out of that mold, breaking out of the rules, and going your own way. It's a very free-spirited energy. So anytime that you see the Fool come up in a reading, not only is it because of being a major arcana card, it's very indicative of kind of a life-changing milestone moment, but it is an indication of breaking out of the norm and doing things your own way and really not caring what other people think about it, right? You're following your own path. You're going in a less traditional way. Probably not going to be following the societal rules to do that as well. It is very much a leap of faith and a whole new beginning, usually when that's showing up in the cards. And I'm going to use this book probably quite a bit throughout this series, but this is Jessica Doerr's Tarot for Change. And I'm going to read something that she says here, because she is actually a social worker who has done a lot of work in psychology and social behavior. And this is the best description I think I've ever heard when it comes to the Fool is studies shown that rigid psychological rules contribute to mental health issues. I think this one here, if you have a rule that says being sad is bad and therefore should be avoided at all costs, you might use alcohol, sex, drugs, or shopping to numb any and all feelings of melancholy. Essentially, rules that are societally based, more often than not, are keeping you in a box. And that box isn't necessarily good for you. And many times we have to take this full energy to leap out of that box and go our own direction in order for our own mental health, in order for our own physical health. And actually, I'll give you a personal example of this. Just back in February, I walked out of my job and decided that I was going to be doing this full time from this point forward, because staying in that box of you have to have a regular job, you have to have a 401k and health insurance through your job and all of that stuff, that box was becoming very, very unstable for my mental health and my physical health and the health of my relationship with my daughter as well. Finally, I threw in the towel. I literally did exactly what we're doing here. I threw my stuff that I had in my office in my bag, and I walked out the door, and I started on this whole new path. And that wasn't a new path. I already had this started, but I threw everything into it. Many times when you're in the full energy, the people around you are probably going to be trying to do everything they can to shove you back in that box. They're going to be telling you that you're messing up. They're going to tell you that that's not the way you're supposed to do things, and so on and so forth. But if you're in that full energy, you need to go with it. You need to trust the path that you're on. You need to trust that the universe is sending you in the right direction. But when it comes down to it, when you see the Fool pop up in any reading, this is very much a new beginning that is different than the norm. It is taking a leap of faith. It is trusting the universe, and it is essentially just going for it and saying screw it to pretty much everything else that has been keeping you within a box. I hope that is helpful, and please hit subscribe if you like these. I will be going through the entire 78 cards of the tarot in this series.